Sagittarius, like magic, solving all your problems in. Have you ever wondered if, in just this very moment, your entire life could shift, as if by magic? Perhaps you have crossed countless seasons, carrying within your heart the silent longings, the dreams you thought had been forgotten. But what if I told you, right here, right now, in the moments ahead, you will uncover a miracle hidden deep within yourself? Would you be ready to listen? Today, we embark on a journey to discover the hidden strength of Sagittarius, the free-spirited soul who carries within them a magic powerful enough to solve every challenge. A magic waiting to awaken the destiny that has always been calling. And if, right now, you feel even the faintest stirring in your heart, stay with me. For perhaps, this very journey will become the turning point of your life. If your heart resonates, I invite you to affirm quietly, I am ready to unlock my magnificent destiny. That affirmation is more than words. It is a signal sent out into the universe, declaring that you are ready to step beyond old limits and into a new land overflowing with light and possibility. And if you feel these words touch your soul, remember to leave a like, share this message, and help spread this positive energy to others who, just like you, are still waiting for a miracle. There is a strange but beautiful truth in this universe. Every soul, when it comes into being, is gifted with an invisible blessing. For those touched by Sagittarius, this gift takes the form of unshakable freedom, an indestructible hope, and a sacred ability. The ability to find light even in the darkest nights of life. No matter how many times you have fallen, no matter how many trials life has placed in your path, deep within your heart, the flame of Sagittarius has never gone out. It is not merely courage. It is a sacred instinct, urging you to rise, to cross the barren fields, to seek out the deeper meaning of existence. In ancient astrology, Sagittarius was seen as the keeper of the eternal key, the key that links heaven and earth. The arrow they lift high was never meant only for conquering the world outside, but to pierce straight into the hidden truths within themselves. They do not run away from pain. They move through it. And in doing so, they unknowingly inspire others, even when they themselves are unaware of the light they carry. Through long years of reflection, I have come to believe, if there is any group of souls who can reignite hope from the ashes, it is those born under the mark of Sagittarius. Not because they have not suffered, but because they understand. Every wound carries within it a seed of miraculous growth, waiting to bloom. In a world still tangled in uncertainty and sorrow, perhaps it is hearts like these, hearts that choose to believe in the light, even when storms fill the sky, that humanity needs the most. There is a simple, yet profound lesson I wish to offer from the spirit of Sagittarius. No matter how misty the road ahead, as long as you hold on to faith, you still possess the strength to move forward. Never underestimate the power of a heart that has been wounded but still chooses love. Never forget that each step taken in faith sends a ripple all the way through the universe. Perhaps right now, a part of you is whispering those same questions. Have you ever felt you were born for something greater? To live more deeply? To leave a mark of goodness upon this world? If your heart says yes, then do not hesitate. Leave a comment below. I choose to become a guiding light. For perhaps, that simple affirmation will become the first step that opens a path you have long been destined to walk. For Sagittarius, magic is not some distant dream. Magic is the very way they see the world, as a vast land filled with boundless opportunity, as a living map leading to dreams far beyond what limits could ever contain. when a Sagittarius lives true to their essence. They do not simply overcome their own struggles. They ignite hope in those still wandering. The world needs such lights. It needs souls who dare to dream big. Who dare to keep walking even when the full path is not yet visible. It needs hearts that believe every act of kindness, every choice to live with compassion, can quietly, powerfully reshape the world. And you, if you are hearing these words, perhaps you too carry that seed inside you. A seed waiting for your faith and your courage to water it. Until one day, it blooms into the most wondrous garden you have ever known. Let that magic begin today. Let the power of Sagittarius within you rise and awaken. And now, as you feel this stirring in your heart, I invite you to continue with me into the next part of this journey, where we will uncover the sacred signs the universe has been quietly sending you, like lanterns lit in the night, reminding you that you have never, ever been alone on this path. There are moments in life we cannot explain. Moments when everything inside us suddenly feels too tight, too small, as if we have outgrown the life we once knew. The familiar roads, the old relationships, even the dreams we once cherished. Suddenly, they no longer feel wide enough to hold the soul quietly growing within us. For Sagittarius, that moment is not just a vague discomfort. It is a sacred calling. A sign that their soul is preparing to awaken. To step into a miraculous cycle of rebirth, where they will not only find themselves again, but also rediscover their true place within the grand symphony of life. I still remember so clearly a conversation I once had with an old friend, a true Sagittarius. After years of living a life of quiet satisfaction, a stable job, a modest home, safe, predictable relationships, he woke up one morning and felt an emptiness inside him that he could not ignore. There was no crisis, no tragedy. No one pushed him to the edge. And yet, stepping outside that morning, watching the pale winter sun break over distant rooftops, he realized something simple but profound. His soul had not felt truly free for a very, very long time. And so, with a single decision, he left it all behind. Starting again from zero. But carrying a heart now fully alive. A heart he had almost forgotten he possessed. From all the journeys I have witnessed over the years, I believe this. True awakening never happens in the noise of outer revolutions. It begins with a quiet, almost fragile voice from within. And only those courageous enough to listen to that voice truly step into the miracle of rebirth. Here's where the magic lies. Sagittarius does not awaken for themselves alone. When they rise, they pull countless others from the shadows. With the sheer honesty and brilliance of their light, they become silent beacons, guiding the lost through life's labyrinth. There is a priceless lesson that every Sagittarian awakening offers the world. You do not have to wait until everything is perfect to begin living true to yourself. Sometimes, the greatest miracle is simply daring to start right where you are. Even if all you have are broken pieces, doubts, and fears. I believe that in today's chaotic world, the awakening of such hearts is a sacred gift. A truly healthy society is not built merely on material achievements, but on souls brave enough to live authentically, to love deeply, and to pass hope gently from one heart to another. Wherever a Sagittarian soul awakens, a new point of light ignites in the world. If you find your heart stirring as you hear these words, perhaps a part of you is also preparing to awaken. And if so, I invite you now to affirm it boldly. I allow my soul to awaken. Leave that message in the comments. Not just as a statement, but as a quiet covenant with yourself. A promise that you will no longer confine yourself to small patterns and safe cages. The awakening journey of Sagittarius is never easy. It demands facing old wounds, shattered illusions, and the many times they have betrayed their own hearts. But because of this, when they emerge, they attain a depth of freedom few can ever imagine. They are no longer shackled by the opinions of others, the rigid expectations of society, or the paralyzing fear of failure. They live by one unwavering truth. Only the voice of their own soul can be their true compass. And you know, the magic does not lie in the destination. The magic is the journey itself. It is in each moment you choose to listen to your inner voice over the noise outside. It is in every small, uncertain step you take forward in faith, even when the road is still shrouded in mist. It is in every time you fall, and every quiet, resilient rising. In a world still so wounded, with so many souls searching for light, perhaps your awakening, and the awakening of each of us, can contribute in small but powerful ways to making this world a little warmer, a little more human. Have you ever felt you were born to light up a part of this world? If your heart says yes, do not hesitate. Declare it now by leaving this message. I am ready to become a light in this world. Because sometimes, a simple affirmation can open the most miraculous doors in your destiny. And now, having taken our first steps together on this miraculous path of awakening, I invite you to continue with me as we explore the sacred signs the universe has been quietly sending. Signs meant to remind you that the light you seek out there has always been quietly burning within you. For Sagittarius, sensitivity to signs is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. For such a free soul is never meant to live for themselves alone. They are born to be wayfinders, to open new doors for themselves and for others. And to do that, they must first learn how to listen. Not with the noisy voice of reason, but with the deep silence of the heart. I still remember a story that remains deeply etched in my mind. A man, profoundly marked by the spirit of Sagittarius, once found himself standing at a crossroads in his life. He had just lost his job, had just endured the painful end of a relationship, and it seemed as if every door around him had slammed shut. But one morning, while wandering aimlessly through a park, he struck up a conversation with an old man sitting quietly on a bench. The old man did not offer advice, nor did he map out a grand plan. He simply smiled and said, "Sometimes, loss is not an ending, but a secret map leading you to a hidden treasure." Those simple words, as soft as a passing breeze, awakened something inside him. He stopped struggling to cling to the past. Instead, he began to listen to the small signs each day. An unexpected opportunity, a simple invitation, a faint whisper of intuition. And so, just 2 years later, he built a new life. A life more radiant, more free, and more fulfilling than he had ever imagined possible. The greatest life lesson from that story, and from countless journeys of Sagittarian souls, is this: never underestimate the whispers of your soul. Never ignore the small signs life sends your way. For sometimes, what seems like a tiny change today can become the wind that unfurls the sails for the grandest voyage of your life. Perhaps you, too, have felt such moments. Moments when it seemed as if an unseen hand was gently guiding you, even when your mind could find no explanation. If you have, I invite you to share your story by leaving a comment. I am ready to listen to the calling of my destiny. Because each story you share is not only a gift to yourself, but could become a small light, guiding someone else who is still searching for their way. Sagittarius understands. Living by divine signs does not mean life becomes easy. On the contrary, It is often a path that demands absolute faith in what cannot yet be seen. It is the courage to keep walking even when the path is cloaked in mist. It is the daring to believe in dreams even when the world calls you foolish. But precisely because of that, Sagittarian souls are able to transcend the limits of the material world, to touch horizons others only dare to dream of. Awakening to see the signs is a blessing. But daring to act upon those signs, that is the true miracle. The world needs souls like these. The world needs those who not only hear the inner call, but also dare to move, dare to change, dare to pass on the flame of hope to those still struggling in the dark. And perhaps, if you are hearing these words, it is no accident. Maybe the universe, too, is whispering to you, inviting you to step out of old, tired safety zones, and begin a new chapter. A chapter more radiant, more expansive than anything you have ever known. If you feel that stirring within you, please do not stay silent. Leave a like. Share this message with someone dear to you. For sometimes, a single small act can awaken miracles in many lives. And when you are ready, I invite you to take the next step with me, as we journey onward into the next part of this magical path, where we will uncover the sacred truth of endings and rebirths, and discover how letting go of what is old and worn can become the most powerful magic to liberate the magnificent destiny you were always meant to live. There are things in life we only recognize after losing them, truths we only see once we've let go. There are journeys we only understand when we finally stop and realize we have been wandering too long on paths never meant for us. And there are endings, no matter how painful, that turn out to be secret gates, opening into greater beginnings than our souls could ever have dreamed. For Sagittarian souls, rebirth does not come from moments of external glory. It comes from one quiet, powerful choice. The choice to stop living a life that no longer fits the growing heart within. In astrology, Sagittarius is forever linked to the image of the wanderer, always moving forward, always seeking new lands for their soul. But what few realize is this: every great leap forward begins with a courageous letting go. Letting go of a job that no longer inspires. Letting go of relationships that have dried up. Letting go of illusions that once served as shelter, but now only weigh heavy on the spirit. From all I have witnessed across the years, I believe this: letting go is not failure. Letting go is a sacred art. It is a sign that you have grown strong enough to know your soul deserves a sky far wider, far vaster, than you ever allowed yourself to imagine. I once knew a Sagittarian woman who spent the best years of her youth clinging to a lifeless marriage, held there only by her fear of loneliness. But one ordinary day, as the soft evening light spilled through a small window, she suddenly understood. Her life, her soul, her quiet, tender dreams were all slowly withering away. And in that silent moment, she chose to leave. No noise, no resentment, just herself. And for the first time in many years, a heart finally breathing free. The life lesson I hope you carry from her story is this: not everyone will understand why you choose to let go. And you do not need them to. Because the moment you dare to choose yourself, you open a new path. A path where freedom, love, and magnificent opportunities await. Perhaps, right now, there is something within you stirring. A job draining your spirit. A relationship that makes you forget who you are. An old version of yourself you've clung to for far too long, out of fear of the unknown. If so, I invite you, with all the love you can give yourself, To whisper this truth, I allow myself to let go and be reborn. And if you are ready, leave that affirmation in the comments. For every promise you make to yourself today is a seed that tomorrow will bloom into the most miraculous garden of freedom you have ever known. Sagittarius rebirth is never about rebellion for its own sake. It is a return to the truest, brightest essence of the soul. It is the courage to believe that on the other side of pain lies a sky you have never yet touched. A sky that only you can paint with your free steps and the undying light in your heart. And you know, those who dare to walk through pain and be reborn, they do not just change their own lives. They quietly, powerfully make this world more compassionate, stronger, and more human. Perhaps the world has never needed such souls more than now. Souls who know that an ending is not a loss, but a sacred invitation to a deeper, more authentic journey. And now, as your heart grows ready, I invite you to step with me into the next part, where we will uncover the greatest secret of all: how to awaken the hidden magic within you, and step into the flow of the magnificent destiny that has awaited you since the moment you were born. There is a wondrous truth I deeply believe. The power you seek, the miracle you long for, does not exist somewhere out there. It has always lived within you, waiting for the moment you awaken it. For Sagittarius souls, the key to destiny is not something found on a distant horizon. It lies within the brave heart, the dreams that never die, and the silent, unshakable faith that life can, and must, be more radiant than this. In astrology, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck, expansion, and grace. But luck does not come unbidden. Luck is the reward for those who dare to walk by faith, for those who dare to live by the light within them, even when the world outside is heavy with doubt. From over half a lifetime of reflection, I have come to believe, when a Sagittarian soul lives true to themselves, they do not wait for magic to come. They are the magic. The greatest lesson here is this: you do not need to become someone else. You do not need to wait for perfect conditions. You only need to open yourself to what is most sacred within you. Your dreams, your longings, the quiet callings your soul has whispered to you for so many years. And if, today, as you listen to these words, you feel a flame beginning to stir within your heart, then I invite you to affirm quietly: I activate the divine power within me. Leave that declaration in the comments. For each vow you make today is a bold step on your path to becoming the most radiant version of yourself. You know, this world does not need more weary souls chasing hollow dreams. This world needs you, your light, your authenticity, your reborn strength. And now that we have held the key to destiny in our hands, now that we have rekindled the flame within, I invite you to continue this journey with me, as we weave all this newfound strength into a new doorway. The doorway that leads you straight into a magnificent, abundant, and light-filled destiny. There are moments in life when we know, without anyone noticing, without any grand event, that we are no longer the person we once were. A door has opened. A new chapter has begun. And for the Sagittarian soul, that moment is a sacred, silent declaration. I am ready to soar to my own sky. You know, the future is not built by vague dreams. It is built, every day, by quiet choices, by steady steps, even when the heart still trembles. And every step you take, every decision you make in the light of your soul, lays down one more stone in the foundation of a life more radiant than anything you have ever dared to imagine. From over half a century of reflection, I have come to believe this. We did not come into this world to live small lives. Our souls yearn to expand, to soar, to become a living heartbeat within the grand symphony of the universe. And every time a Sagittarius chooses to trust themselves, to act out of faith rather than fear, not only their life changes, but a small part of this world is redeemed. There is a life lesson I hope you carry with you today. A radiant future is not a reward reserved for the lucky. It is a gift for those who have the courage not to abandon themselves, even when the path becomes rough, even when loneliness bites deep, even when it feels as if all light has been extinguished. Perhaps you are sitting there, listening to these words, with a heart still carrying doubts, still carrying wounds that have not yet fully healed. But please remember, you do not need to be perfect to begin. You only need to love yourself enough to believe that you are worthy of a life far greater, far more beautiful than you have ever known. If these words are touching your heart, I invite you to leave a simple message. I choose to believe in the radiant future awaiting me. A simple message, but one powerful enough to start the flow of miracles. Because in the invisible world of faith, every declaration is a seed, and every seed carries within it the promise of a bountiful harvest. Dear Sagittarius soul, you were not born to walk forever along narrow roads, to bow your head to fear, to live small while your heart was made to soar among the stars. You were born to open doors no one else has dared open, to dream dreams no one else has dared dream, to become a silent but unstoppable light in this world. If ever you doubt yourself, remember this. The universe placed an arrow in your heart the very moment you came into being. An arrow that never misses its path, only waiting for the moment. You are brave enough to draw back the bow and release it toward the horizon your soul chose long ago. And I believe, if you have stayed with me until this moment, if you can feel the stirring within your heart, then you are ready. Ready to step out of the safe places. Ready to lift your head high. Ready to open yourself to the miracles waiting just ahead. Believe this. Even if the road is long, even if darkness sometimes clouds your way, you are never truly alone. Because with every step you take, 1,000 other lights will tremble in response to your footsteps. And because, at a level deeper than what the eye can see, we, the souls learning to love and grow, are forever connected by invisible threads of faith, hope, and everlasting love. Your journey does not end here. This is only the beginning. A beginning that is radiant, sacred, and filled with miracles beyond anything you have yet dared to dream. And I, together with all the souls walking this path with you, believe deeply. The greatest sky of your life is still waiting for you, just ahead.